3 dynasties of the New Kingdom, the 18th overall, and it was a remarkable time indeed. Here we find some incredible rulers, including warrior pharaohs, a female pharaoh, a royal religious heretic, and the so-called boy king, Tutankhamun, during a time of great wealth. In the 3,000 years of Egyptian civilization, the 18th dynasty began around the middle of that span, circa 1550 BC, about 1,000 years after the famed Great Pyramid of Giza was constructed, and over 1,000 years before the reign of the oft-romanticized Greek ruler Cleopatra. The ancient Egyptians organized their lives on the basis of a calendar that wasn't too much different from that which most people use today. They had an annual civil calendar consisting of 12 months of 30 days each, with each day divided into 24 hours. There were 3 seasons of 4 months, plus an additional 5 days to approximately match the 365-day natural cycle. The 3 seasons were that of the flooding of the Nile, approximately mid-July to about mid-November, the season of sowing and growing, mid-November to mid-March, and the time of harvest, mid-March to mid-July. Similar to modern times, the months equivalent to our autumn and winter were quite pleasant during the day, and perhaps a bit chilly during the evening. The heat would begin to pick up in the spring, with the summer months quite hot. Certain annual events, such as festivals, were assigned to specific days or cycles of the moon during a particular season and month. In terms of identifying specific events, dates could be indicated based on the reign of an individual pharaoh. For example, year 15, month 3 of the season of sowing and growing. Day 5 under the majesty of Thutmose III. Several of the individuals in this book are historically attested characters, including Amenhotep II, of course, and his family, including his successor, Thutmose IV, along with several of his officials who are fairly well known from surviving monuments. The fact remains, however, that we know few details of the lives of the majority of ordinary individuals upon which the ancient Egyptian civilization was sustained. While pharaohs boasted of their achievements on temple walls and through impressive stone statuary, and wealthy officials made themselves known with their own statues and painted tombs, the average farmers and craftsmen were illiterate and went about their lives unsung, but still utterly vital in society. Much of what we know about that culture comes from the remains of temples and tombs, monuments of religion and death built to endure for eternity, but representing just a slice of life, and much of it coming from the south of Egypt, where environmental conditions are more favorable to the survival of archaeological remains through the ages. Living in mud brick houses on the banks of the annually flooding Nile isn't particularly conducive to the long-term survival of the homes and villages where most Egyptians lived. Fortunately, a few unique communities have survived to inform us of some of the details, one being the village that housed the workmen who built the royal tombs during the New Kingdom, and a couple of others that facilitated those who built the pyramids during earlier ages, all situated sufficiently safe from the inundations. In short, our knowledge of ancient Egyptian life is somewhat uneven and unrepresentative of all of society. As ancient Egypt was a culture with writing for the relatively few trained in its use, scholars have been blessed with a good number of inscriptions and other documents that have provided us with precious insights into many aspects of ancient life. Our ability now to read the hieroglyphs and other Egyptian scripts with some degree of accuracy has provided us with some information about historical, economic, religious and personal matters, and also gives us a peek into the ancient mind and ways of thinking. Egyptologists also have benefited from some of the observations of ancient foreign visitors, notably Greeks and Romans, who wrote about their experiences in Egypt, although many centuries after the time described in this book. Much of the action in our year-long story takes place in two of Egypt's